Hello viewers, it is Super GT here. Welcome back to Gran Turismo Sport. So here I am. You can see my name there. I'm in 5th place. And no, I'm not driving a Megane. I'm in the Megane class, but I've gone for the Chevrolet Corvette. It seems like one of very few cars that can actually challenge the Megane. But this is recorded, quite crucially, this is quite crucial information. This is recorded before the big update that we've just got in the game, where there have been some balances to the performances of the cars. So this is really, hopefully, the end of the Megane dominance. But we'll see in this race if I can actually do anything about beating some of them before this big update. Into the first corner, Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit, 8 laps. So you can see here, plenty of Meganes up ahead, plenty behind. I am absolutely surrounded by them, and I seem to be the only person in the top 10 who's gone for something different. Now my first few corners here haven't been the best. I can see the guy behind me just poking into the bottom of the screen. I'm going to have to try to pull away from him the best I can to reduce that pressure. I just know that as soon as I get to any straight, the main straight or the one going towards the final chicane, I really need a couple of temps in the bag before I get to the straight, because they are just that quick and they will just go past me. So I need to build that gap. This car seems very good on traction and brakes. Brakes are good, and the traction coming out of the corners, that's where it seems very strong, even compared to the Megane, which we know is ridiculous. So this is the end of lap number 1, coming up to the chicane. You see just how much the pole there guy gained on me, and I've just braked way too late under pressure, and I'm going to get a penalty for that, am I? As we come up the hill. Yes, I am. There we go. So in an 8-lap race, we're on lap 1. That's not too much of a disaster. I've actually gained on the front pack. They are fighting with each other. The Meganes are not—they're not being friendly to each other at all. They are going to start fighting. The leader's gone way defensive over to the right. So it's still early in the race. I don't need to worry about that penalty really too much. I can kind of wind it down. Oh my God! The Frenchman goes weighing in. The poles come flying in with zero mercy. He's bundled me wide. Oh man, just to kick in the teeth, I lose sportsmanship rating at the same time. Oh God. The penalty's gone down at least though. But the poles, he's absolutely been brutal there with a double overtake at turn 1 with the aid of my car. Thank you very much for that. So now we're on the back foot. We're going to have to try to regain our composure. The good thing here though, the thing I need to happen, I need this front group to be very aggressive with each other. That's only going to help me and not help them. If they were anything sensible, you know, you just wouldn't fight in the early stages and try to pull away. And I can see that there's a change of the leader, so that again is going to help me just to reel them in slightly, or keep up with them at least. So going up the hill towards the Schumacher rest, you see there, looking behind, the gap is getting slightly bigger to the guys behind. My qualifying time wasn't too bad. It was a low 2:04, and the guy who qualified in first in this race had a 2:03.8. So there's only 4 temps in it, and as you can see here, it is a very close race. Most of these guys low 2:04s, high 2:03s. So it was a fairly balanced race, and we're going to see that here. So the top 6 very close to each other within 3 seconds as we come up to the chicane, getting on that braking point quite nicely. You can absolutely abuse the curbs through there. Pretty much you have to if you want to maximise your lap time. The pole's gone down a position, and there's almost 3 abreast going into the final corner. It's actually just entertaining because I can't really force my hand here too much because my car simply doesn't have enough power. You can see here, just look at that power difference down the straight. I'm just losing half a second on that straight alone almost. Into the first corner, the pole, oh my God. That is savage, absolutely savage. Just knocks off another Megane. They are imploding right now. Not friendly at all, and I've gone into the back of him. I'm going to lose more sportsmanship rating. And if it carries on at this rate, if they just keep knocking each other off, then you know I'm quite happy for them to do that, and they're going to eventually all crash, hopefully. So then coming down towards the chicane once again, this lap number 3, the pole's just going to pull out. side by side then with the Frenchman as they go up into the chicane. Let's see how this one develops. I'm kind of just a spectator here. As we go in, oh, he spun out. I don't know, he just kind of lost it on his own there, it looked like. So another one bites the dust. I'm up into 4th place. One by one, they are slowly eliminating each other, which is good to see, all themselves. So I'm keeping on the tail of this guy, and we're just going to try, really, just keep with them, and hopefully keep bundling each other off. And as we go into turn 1, on the brakes nicely by the 2 cones, and then turn in nice and late for that apex. I've hooked up very nicely there, actually. This car, surprising, it's not doesn't drive how I would expect. Up the inside, savage move, just using a bit of contact, but nothing worse than what he did to me on lap 2. Up the inside, I'm expecting a ram from behind, but it doesn't arrive, thankfully. Through the apex of 4, you can run wide on the exit. Trying to hunt down the guy in 2nd place now. So I've actually developed a gap there. You see there about 7-8 tenths to the pole in 4th place, which is more than enough to not have to go defensive here into the chicane. In we go, a little bit late on the brakes. You see there, just couldn't quite keep it within the track limits. I'm going to get a penalty. 4.2 seconds, not good at all. So this is an opportune moment. I just want to mention, it's a teammate of mine, so I'm part of F4H. Someone you might want to check out, F4H Rosso. Now he's one of the quickest guys in this game. He can set top 10 times quite easily, and he makes his own videos on this game. I know a lot of you really want me to make just GT Sport videos. It's not going to happen. I'm going to make videos on Forza as well. But if you want someone who makes really good GT Sport videos, who is really good, and he gives you good advice too, F4H Rosso is linked in the description. I definitely would recommend it, because I sometimes have to look at his videos just to see how he's done the lap, because sometimes people are setting ridiculous lap times and I'm just not sure how the hell they do it, and then I kind of have to look and see firsthand on a video how they've done it. But back to the race, you can see here the guy in 2nd here, the Italian, not driving the absolute best, and I've kind of pulled him in over the space of a couple of laps, and then at the end of lap number 5 you see the gap actually opened up again, especially once we get to that straight, and I've kind of just cut that a little bit too much. My penalty's gone up. This is not good. I'm perhaps over driving here, when I think in this game maybe you just need to have a bit more patience and kind of wait for things to happen. Basically what's happened in the first half of this race, I've kind of just sat there and everyone else has just bundled each other off, or themselves off. I didn't really have to do too much. But now that I'm in a position to try and attack, I'm actually making the mistakes and getting the penalties, which isn't good. But you see there, it goes down by about a second. We've still got 3 laps here to try to reduce that 6-second penalty to 0. So it's not an absolute disaster. 1st place isn't too far ahead, but we're on about the same pace, so he should have it covered from here to the end, unless he makes a massive error. So you see on the exit of 4, really good traction, keeping up with the Megane, and it's going to be an interesting lap here, lap number 6. So 2.5 laps remaining, hooking up with the apex very nicely through 5 into 6, looking for that cone, and then you can just power out. Look at us both maximising the track limits there. That's what you have to do if you want to get the best lap times. Coming down towards the hairpin, so using again all of the tarmac. I've just given him a bit of a bump there, a bit naughty, but he's not gonna suffer from that. So that's good to see as we go up into the Schumacher-esque. Again, maximising that track limit, really get the most speed as you can through the chicane. So taking that very nicely, the car very controlled, and it's quite surprising maybe from a Corvette, a rear-wheel drive Corvette. I would expect lots of slipping and sliding on the exit of corners, but that's where it's really easy to drive, and I have lots of confidence to drive this car. It's actually a lot nicer to drive than the Megane, which has horrible understeer in 2nd gear when you're coming out of the corners. And you see the penalty's gone down to 5.4. As we come up into the chicane then for the 6th time of 8, I've braked a little late. I've punted him. That's not going to end well. Oh my god. It's added 10 seconds penalty to my time. Fair enough. I mean, I did completely punt him. But I suppose, this penalty, it's added 10 seconds there. And the guy ahead didn't really suffer too much from that. It's a shame sometimes it's not context sensitive. But yeah, I did hit him. I suppose I have to just deal with the consequences of that. So now I have 2 laps to try to reduce 15 seconds worth of penalty, and obviously try to not get another one. So I'm in a really quite tricky situation here. Do I really push and try to get past him and then block him and reduce the penalty that way, or maybe just settle for 3rd and just hope that 4th place crashes or something and I can get away from him? You see here, pulling right to the back of 2nd as we come out of turn 4 into turn 5. But it's so hard to get anywhere near him coming into the next corner because he's got such good straight line speed. It's really difficult, and I've just given him a nudge there. I'm just going to let him slot back in ahead. So you can see here, I'm so close, but it's never going to be enough because there's a little bit of a straight here and he just pulls away by a couple of car lengths, and it's just more than enough. Now, as I said at the start of the video, this is before the big update, which hopefully, I haven't tested it as I'm commentating here, but hopefully the Megane is a little bit slower, or just the overall balancing is a bit better, because obviously this class has just turned into the Megane class. It is absolutely ridiculous. But yes, regarding that update as well, I'll be doing plenty of videos, or streams I think would be better for the update. Up the inside, looking for the move, it wasn't quite on, and on the exit, pulling alongside, there was a bit of contact there. That's not good for me really. I thought I'd go for the move, try it out, because I was fairly close and had a good traction on the exit. But I'm going to have to go defensive now because the pole is back in the game. He's actually going to tuck it behind quite nicely there. So you see that, maximising the track limits. That's kind of how you're meant to take it if you really want to go through there as quick as possible. But still, worryingly, the penalty's only gone down by 2 seconds on that lap. So we still have 13.4 seconds to get rid of in 1 lap, whilst trying to somehow deal with these 2 guys. This is going to be a really tough lap, and I can't really see a way out here. So going into the first corner, going defensive. I thought he would go for the move, he didn't. Still kind of meet the apex, so not too bad there. Penalty's gone down by 1 second, so 12.6 to get rid of, 12.7 to get rid of. Exit 3, a little bit of quirkiness, oversteer there, but nothing too sinister. Go for a later apex than the Megane. And then into 4. This is where I seem to be stronger on the exit at least. You see that the Megane's struggling with the understeer on the exit. But again, I've just got nowhere to go. I just can't go up the inside. I just can't really go for a lunge. Because these guys, they're fast, they're on the limit on the brakes, and it's hard just to go for a mega lunge. It's just almost impossible. So out of 6, down towards the hairpin. Normally a good place to overtake. I'm fairly close this time, probably about as close as I've ever been. It's not going to be enough though. I'm going to go very deep. I'm going to expect the hole on the inside. There he is. And I'm just going to get the exit. I'm going to just tuck in ahead of him. And hopefully he'll just slide behind without thinking about a move into the Schumacher-esque, which really is not a good place to go for a move. So still 11.9 seconds to try and get rid of here. It's not going to go well. I don't think. Maybe I should just back out now and then really just settle for 4th place, because the gap to 5th is quite big and I could probably get rid of it, but I'm just going to be the Super GT who absolutely goes for it. And as we come up then towards the chicane through the kink, the leader isn't too far away. In fact, over the last few laps we've actually been lapping quicker than he has. Then into the final chicane, I'm going to go mega defensive. On the exit here, I'm just going to slow right down to stay on the inside, try to reduce that penalty. It's not going down quick enough. It's not going down quick enough. Oh man, it only went down to 9.8. Yeah, not enough. This is the final corner, final straight. I'm just going to slow down here. 9.8. We go over the line with 9.8. Crossing the line in 4th with a 10-second penalty. And eventually, you can't write this stuff, guys. I'm going to finish in 6th place. Yeah, that's right. 6th place. After all that, I had a good shot at 2nd, and I threw it all away by being too aggressive through the final chicane multiple times. There it is. Super GT finishes in 6th place. You can't write this stuff. And yeah. Oh well. You can't really say too much about that other than I was a bit of an idiot in the second half of the race. First half, perfect. Just be patient, wait for the others to kill themselves. Then the second half, I was the one killing myself. So Not good. I need to learn from that. Need to be a bit more patient. Just maybe not bite off more than I can chew. But overall, it was an enjoyable race, and it was good to see that perhaps something can challenge the Meganes. You can see their fastest laps very, very, very close. In fact, 2047, 2048, 2048, 2046, and mine was a 2048. So very close indeed. I've actually gone down to sportsmanship rating A from punting people off and cutting chicanes. Not good at all. But yeah, let's see how this update changes the balance of performance. Hopefully it's a bit better. Hopefully you'll join me for the next video, guys. I do hope you enjoyed this video. As always, subscribe if you're new and would like to see more GT Sport content. There'll be plenty more, of course. And of course, smash that like button if you did enjoy the video. I hope to see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.